Hey guys, it's Audra. Welcome to another video. So I've had a ton of people ask me about tips on how to sleep better because sleep is so important. I think it's totally underrated, and thankfully I think a lot of people are starting to catch on that how important sleep actually is, especially for hormones. So if you are not a good sleeper, I really encourage you to get this under control because you really need to sleep very, very good. You need to get into a deep sleep and you want to be on a good rhythm and cycle to help with your hormones. So today I'm going to share my biggest tips on how to sleep better. This is what I have used and what I've done over the past couple of years, because I used to not sleep good at all. Like, I literally was the lightest sleeper ever. Anything would wake me up. I would wake up numerous times during the night. I could never fall asleep. I would wake up too early, and I was literally just like, it was awful, like seriously awful. So this is some tips. I hope they're helpful. So number one, if you drink any type of caffeine, coffee, sodas, anything like that, energy drinks, take any type of pre-workouts or whatever, I highly encourage you to stop drinking that stuff. Even if you drink it in the morning time, like, just get off of it. Some people are very sensitive to caffeine and they don't realize it. And if you're one of these people who just like can't ever sleep and you're drinking coffee or whatever in the morning time and you're having issues with that, then just cut it out and see how that helps. Number two is to take off your watch or move your phone to a different location. Okay, so I know a lot of people probably have this bad tendency, like I used to have. I would sleep in a watch, or I would have my phone right beside my bed, and if I woke up throughout the night, I was just curious and I would look at my phone or my watch and I'd be like, oh, it's like 2:30 in the morning. And it doesn't seem like a big deal, but once you realize like what time it is, then your mind starts thinking like, oh gosh, like I've only got a few more hours left to sleep. And then it keeps you up and then you're stressed even more. So take off your watch, go put it like in the bathroom, take your phone and put it in another room or like in the kitchen or the bathroom or something, so you're not tempted to look at the time or whatever throughout the night. And the same thing with the phone, like keep it away so it can't ring, it can't vibrate, it can't wake you up. Okay, another tip is don't put your pajamas on until you are absolutely ready to go to bed. I know this sounds kind of stupid, but think about it. Like, if you are one of these people who just wears your pajamas like all day long and you never get out of your pajamas, specifically like on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you're just like laying around all day, then when it comes time to go to sleep, you kind of feel like it's not time to go to sleep because you've just been in your pajamas all day. So save your pajamas to being your bedtime clothes. Like, those are the clothes you get in when it's time to go to sleep. And that kind of like triggers in your mind to think, okay, like it's bedtime. And then in the morning when I wake up, I change out of this and I put on my normal clothes to be ready for the day. Next one is to start dimming your lights very, very early. Okay, so turn off any overhead lights, start turning on lamps or candles. You know, that type of thing. Like, the earlier the better, especially as the sun is going down. Try to mimic that with the indoor lighting. Okay, so if the sun starts going down around 7 o'clock, then at 7 o'clock start dimming your lights. Turn off all the really bright lights and just kind of like get it to be as if you were outside, literally, and you were sleeping outside. In addition to this, you want to sleep in complete pitch black darkness, like completely. So cover up all the lights in your room, whether it's light coming in through windows, whether it's light on like your computer cord, whether it's a light from you know, coming up under your door or something like that. Cover it up. Get some foil if you need to. Cover it up with towels, cover it up with blankets, cover it up with like electrical tape, like whatever you have to do. Cover up every single little piece of light. You don't want any light coming in at all. So what you can do, literally just lay in your bed and turn off all the lights and look around and see where there's any light coming through and go cover it up. Another big tip about this is to get an eye face mask, like sleeping masks. I've talked about this before. These things are awesome. I know that they can kind of be annoying at first to get used to, but as time goes on and you start getting used to wearing it and you see that, wow, it like really does keep the light out really, really good, you will be in love with them. Like, you won't even be able to go to sleep without it. So get one of those. You can get them from like a drugstore or something for like $5 to $10. But get one that's comfortable, you know, and that it fits you well. And I promise you will sleep so much better with those things. Like, that is my saving grace for sure. Don't drink a lot of water before you go to bed, or even a few hours before. So if you're one of these people who just really drinks a ton of water, and that works good for you, that's fine. But if you're having to wake up 50 times in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and that's waking you up and you're not able to go back to sleep, then stop drinking so much water. Like, especially right before you go to bed. Cut it off maybe around 6 or 7 o'clock, go to the bathroom as much as you can before you go to bed, so that way you're not waking up in the middle of the night. And then if you wanted to start drinking in the morning, that's fine. But if this is one of those things where you're drinking and it just keeps waking you up and you can't go back to sleep and it's that type of thing, then just stop drinking so much water. Equally important is being sure that you actually eat something before you go to bed. I know for a lot of people, like if you go to bed hungry and you're constantly thinking that and your stomach is empty and you're just like thinking of food, like you are going to have a hard time going to sleep, like seriously. And some people even wake up in the middle of the night and they're so hungry they have to go eat at like 3 in the morning, and you don't want to do that. Like, eat something before you go to bed. I don't recommend eating like a giant meal unless you're okay with that. The only reason why is because if it hurts your stomach, that's the whole thing, and you don't want to feel uncomfortable as you're sleeping. But if you like eating giant meals and it doesn't hurt your stomach, then go for it. But I would be sure to eat some type of carb before you go to sleep. So eating carbs before you go to bed will like really just calm you down. It kind of gets you ready. It kind of warms up your body a little bit and it gets you ready for sleep. Next thing is take an Epsom salt bath. So Epsom salt has magnesium in it, and magnesium is very calming and soothing for your muscles and your body. So if you take a hot bath, pour like a couple of cups of Epsom salt in there and soak in that before you go to sleep. I wouldn't do it right before you go to sleep, maybe an hour or two before if you can. And it will kind of relax you and kind of get you in the mood to go to bed. Also, turn off your TV, your phone, your computer, whatever, a few hours before bedtime, okay? And when I say bedtime, I'm saying that you need to be in bed, lights out, with your eyes closed, preferably around 10 o'clock, okay? That would be the best. If that doesn't happen, like, don't kill yourself. Like, if it's like the choice between, do I go out with my friends tonight or do I have to be in bed at 10 o'clock? Like, go out with your friends and have fun. But all in all, like, ideally, you want to be in bed by 10 most nights of the week. Like, the more the better. And so a part of that is, like I said, turn off all the electronics very early so you can kind of start getting all that stuff out of your head and that you're not exposed to that bright light all night long. Instead of, if you're just gonna like sit there and be like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I usually am on my phone or I'm watching TV or I'm on my computer or whatever right up until I go to bed. Well, you have to make this a habit and turn it off, put it away, and go find a really good book that you like a really good fiction book. You can read the Bible, you can read poetry, anything like that. It's just very calming. It's not stressful. It's not gonna like really get you like worked up and stuff like that. You don't want that. Which leads me to my next tip. You don't want to be stressed or frustrated or have something weighing really heavy on your mind before bed. You don't want to get in fights. You don't want to be like researching different things. You don't want to have anything that's going to be keeping your mind thinking all night long. So get away from all of that type of stuff. If you know that like a fight's coming, or if you answer that phone call and it's going to be a fight, or like whatever, just don't do it. Like, don't do it, especially before bedtime. You want your mind to be as clear as possible. Another point about this too is a lot of people will keep like a little notepad beside their bed, and if you're laying there and you're kind of going through the day, you're going through the next day, and you're thinking like, what in the world, like I've got this to do and this to do, like instead of replaying it in your mind, just write it on that piece of paper and put it away and close your eyes. And if something else comes to you, write it and put it away. That works for some people. It doesn't work for everybody, but I have heard a lot of people really benefit from doing that. So you could try that just to kind of get the stuff out of your mind, because a lot of times we lay there and we think, okay, I gotta like replay this in my head so I don't forget it, but you're not going to forget it because you just wrote it down. Just like you're gonna aim to get in bed early, you want to get used to getting up earlier, okay? And when I say up, I'm not talking about like 4 in the morning necessarily, but you don't want to get in this habit of staying up till 2 and sleeping till 12, like you want to get in bed by 10, wake up around 6 or 7, and the longer that you can sleep, like the deeper sleep and the more rested, the better off you're going to be, specifically hormonally speaking. Okay, you don't want to be one of these type of people who lives off of like 4 hours of sleep. Like, you don't want to do that, especially if you've had really bad like insomnia and stuff like that for a long time. You've got to start getting in a good cyclical pattern of sleeping, and a part of that is waking up earlier. And as you do this over time, you'll get to where you don't even need an alarm. Like, you literally will wake up pretty much like on the dot every single day, like the same time every single day. Sleep in a cool room, and make sure, if you like having sound, some people don't, some people like sleeping just like in complete like silence, but you could get a little fan. I don't recommend pointing the fan on you necessarily, but have some type of background noise. I know there's apps that you can download. You can get like a little sound machine or whatever. but kind of keep it cool in the room. It's going to be dark, and it's going to just be perfect for sleeping. Make sure your bed is comfortable. Get some blankets, kind of just like get comfortable. When you do wake up in the morning, get out of the bed, okay? The bed is for sleeping. It's not just for lounging or whatever. If you're gonna lounge around, go sit in a chair on a couch or something like that. Keep your bed to where it's just sleeping. I know a lot of people tend to like surf the web in the bed, or they have their phone and they're just laying there. Anytime you're bored, you just go get in your bed or whatever. Don't do that. Like, save it just for sleeping, okay? Don't make it a normal habit to just go get in your bed when you're bored and watch TV from there. If anything, like, go sit on the floor, go walk around, go do something like that to where you're not just like in your bed all the time. It should be just sleeping. And finally, this is the last and probably the best tip that I have, and this is what works for me every single time. So what I love to do, and I'm sorry it's getting so dark in here, what I love to do is count sheep in my head. I know that sounds crazy, but it works, guys. Like, seriously, I will lay there, and if I have something going on in my head, or I'm really stressed, or it's too late, or whatever, like, I will lay there and I will just think about a little sheep running, and it jumps over a fence, and it runs again. I'll just count them. I'm like, 1, 2, and literally by the time I get to like 10 or 15, I'm asleep. Like, every time. I know I can use that without fail, and it works. So you can try that and see how it works for you. Again, I'm really sorry about this. I should have just done that like 15 minutes ago. I'm sorry about the light, but yeah, try that. It works awesome. But those are the things that I do, and they help me out so much. Like, I'm literally a different person now because I sleep like a baby every single night. The nights that I don't get sleep, I just know the next night I need to get in bed early and do all those things, and I'm going to feel amazing. Let me know if you've tried any of those things and they work. And also leave in the comments below some tips that you have for sleeping better, so that anyone reading can be helped out too. So, hope that's helpful. Hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you later. Bye.